Kalonzo Musyoka is alleging that goons who disrupted a church service the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was attending was sponsored by the state. Do you think Kalonzo Musyoka is exposing nothing but the truth? I want us to listen to what he's saying before we proceed.
Why would you commit violence in church? Kenyans, please stop it. Somebody has to stop it. And therefore, when you have state-sponsored goons, state-sponsored militia, we have no option but to call them out.
Kwa hivyo hiyo ni pepo mbaya ambayo imeingia nchi yetu, na kama ni His Excellency calls them state-sponsored militia, tafadhali usitumike kama mwanarika kufuruga kazi ya Mungu.
So these are perilous times. So church, stand strong and defend the freedom of worship. Because what happened today is a national shame, where a leader is not supposed to go to church. This is not the country.
From the pictures you are seeing on your screen clearly show how former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's vehicles were vandalized by goons who disrupted a church service he was attending at PCA Mwiki. Now, Kalonzo Musyoka is not the only leader who came out to condemn this act of violence. A former cabinet secretary in President William Ruto's government and who is currently his advisor Moses Kuria came out and condemned this act of violence. Let's listen to what Citizen TV reported about his statement on this particular matter.
One of President William Ruto's top advisors, Moses Kuria, also condemned the violence meted on Gachagua, saying events during the church service are ungodly and primitive political wars which should not happen in places of worship. In reliving the 2021 events in Kenol, Muranga County, Kuria said the violence in Mwiki mirrored the attack 4 years ago during a church service attended by allies of then Deputy President William Ruto.
Now that is a report by Citizen TV trying to inform us on a statement that the former cabinet secretary Moses Kuria released immediately after Rigathi Gachagua was attacked by these goons. But I want us to shift gears to understand, for how long will Kenyans accept act of violence being created by politicians themselves? Because you can't tell me that these people who came to attack the former deputy president came without without any order from a certain political leader in the Republic of Kenya. The big question remains, who sent them to attack the former deputy president? According to the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, he is alleging that President William Ruto sent goons to him, and I want us to listen to him speaking before we proceed.
Achana na sisi tutembee mahali tunataka. And even if you want to pursue us, don't pursue us inside the church. But of course, when we are seated here, wondering why the president would go to that length of sending goons inside a church to attack leaders, to attack Christians. But we also remember.
Now, there is a narrative online about this story to do with an act of violence that took place yesterday. And there is a Facebook user by the name Jarunda Jaluthma Mbos, something like that, says, king of violence, Rigathi Gachagua's vehicles vandalized after goons interrupt church service at PCA Mwiki. Here is what happened. Gachagua sent goons from Nairobi to heckle Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wa. The goons were not paid. Gakuya, who ferried the goons to Githunguri, switched off his phone. The goons were left stranded this morning as Gachagua and Gakuya were mobilizing ahead of their Mwiki's rally. They decided to contract a different group of goons, I think, and that is what it meant. Tao Nindogo ikajulikana. The goons stormed Mwiki. Unfortunately, the two groups clashed huko nje ikafika hadi ndani. Hizi siasa za Gachagua za kutumia goons zitaharibu nchi, end of quote. That is what is being alleged, and that particular theory, to me personally, I can't buy it, but the reality on the ground, I do not trust both the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and President William Samoei Arap Ruto, because it is difficult to trust these two leaders. That is the reality on the ground. Whatever they are saying, whether it is true or not true, you can't tell. But what happened to Rigathi Gachagua was uncalled for. I don't want to believe that a leader can sit somewhere and organize goons to attack his opponent in church. He was alleging that the head of state sent goons through Governor of Nairobi City County, Governor Johnson Arthur Sakaja. Whether it is true or not, that is their own problem. But what surprises me is that why do you think church leaders are allowing politics to be carried out in church? It is uncalled for. During the Gen Z movement, I saw them calling out churches to deny politicians an opportunity to politic in church, and I've seen certain church leaders led by Archbishop Jackson Oresapit denying politicians a chance to politic in church, including the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, he did it like I think two times, yeah. One in Buruburu and another in Nyeri County. And that is what I thought should be taking place. Because kama kuna kitu ingeweza kutokea wakati ambapo these goons came, ni kuhatarisha maisha ya watu ambao wanakuja kuomba katika kanisa. So I think certain church leaders are also big hypocrites, because they don't want to preach the word of God, but they want to give politicians an opportunity to politic in the church. In fact, it makes people to think otherwise about leaders who are in these churches, because how can they do it? They know very well politics is not good, and it's like politicians are also finding an opportunity where they can respond to their opponents. I believe a leader can go to church after attending church service, hold your roadside rally, but don't do your politics in church. Anyway guys, that is just my opinion right on the Sports Check. In case you have any counter opinion, feel free to share in the comment section. Bye for now. I will see you in the next video.